What's going on? What the crap's going on? Air is back. But more importantly, I'm back as a spokesperson for His Immensity Grom de Ponch. Now, Grom de Ponch has been extremely upset with me. I have been away from his campaign for an immensely long time. Now, Grom typically appreciates things that is which immense, but he does not appreciate this. So Grom has forced me to eat several cauldrons full of his finest cooking as punishment, and Air will now have an immense diarrhea. No, I'm all right. I shouldn't have ever done. Anyway, we're back, and it's time to fight a battle. This is where we left off last time, so let's smash Albrecht Hertwig, shall we?
Grom always wins.
Albrecht, and not the one of Bordalo, has really picked himself quite a fight here. Quite a fight. He can have his Luminarch and his rockets, but are all those things really as massive and wonderful as the Great Grom's gut? No, they're not. And speaking of, you can see his great gut quickly making its way in this direction. And here comes Patchy himself. He's going to do some salty stabbing against this Empire contraption. And look, they have to send a whole horde of their finest knights to stop just one of the boss's gets here. Just to show you how pathetic these Humies really are. Grom, of course, knows no fear from Humies. He just knows them as pate, burgers, and other fast food type drive-through. As he says, they're a bit scrawny, but they'll do. You see our Gabos is taken to fight to the Humies, uphill, downhill, however they need us to fight. And here comes old Blacktooth's revenge to get involved. You can see that our Harpy ammunition is going to make short work of the Luminarch. Whatever fancy contraption the Humies can build, Grom can easily destroy, as one can clearly see. And Grom's Wa now, by the way, restores hit points of all these units. So yeah, Grom's just absolutely beautiful. Brings life to his troops. They can't help but take heart when led by the Great Grom. Here's the Archlector himself. Looks like he's picked a bit of the wrong fight. That's what he gets for bringing a hammer to a mountain fight. Blacktooth is not scared in any way, shape, or form. See Grom back here swinging his axe. And he's going to go chase off some very scared huntsmen or archers, whatever the heck these losers are. And this particular Archlector will not be the one to stop the Wa. Not at all. Well, Grom's army is as immense as it's ever been. Very good shape.
For something useful.
Swap them for something useful. We actually have a lot of money right now.
Good and proper.
Let's just eat them.
Grom de Ponch.
Oh man, it's nice seeing Altdorf under Grom's immense control. Now, even though it's been a long time since the last episode, Grom has looked at your comments, and there were some very good ones, like always, and he appreciates these suggestions so that his immensity can make the most important decisions. You see, we have the Reichland here, and it was suggested that we rename Altdorf to the Reekland, like this. Oh, man. I love it. Another request that came in was to have an elite unit named the Paunch Guard, which I can do here. Even though they're not in the Paunch's army, we're going to have one of these Black Orcs be the Paunch Guard. I think it's fitting because they're an elite unit. So that was a nice request as well. And then just another one, Cartal reminded me in a comment, he says the 2 middle cooking slots define the dish-specific bonuses, like the attack bonus and sundering attacks with Grom. With the broth. He says if you swap around the ingredients you use to get the same ingredient bonuses, but you might get some dish bonuses, you'd rather have just a little note. Thanks for the note about the cooking pot. I'll mess around with it as much as I can. Obviously, we've got to cook some good stuff for the boys. And then Sean has a suggestion for the name of Uberschreck to Human Pate. That's a good name. I like that. We can do this. Just got to rename everything here in the Reekland. So, Humi Pate. How about that? Now, there were some other good suggestions for names, like Mork's Manor, De Big Cauldron, and De Facen Track in place of Altdorf. We already named Altdorf to the Reekland, so we'll use some of those names when we take Grunberg and Eilhart. There was another suggestion that Crapius should be renamed to Scrapius once he becomes a great scrapper. Love the cinematic campaign. Thanks, Warfiles. That's actually a pretty interesting idea, but we'll have to ask Appius himself. So, Jarl of the Appian Way, what do you think? We did get a name for Snorko. He's actually going to be renamed Porco because of his immensity's great love of food. Oh, one other thing too, we were supposed to name our rogue idol Kevin. I guess we didn't actually get it named here, so let's do that as well. So here's Kevin the rogue idol, much like our Dragon Ogre Shaggoth from past campaigns. So that hopefully gets through pretty much all the comments for this time. Please make sure you go get your comments in. Let me know things that you want to see in the campaign, things we should name, things you think we should do. Basically, just help Air do the best for his immensity, okay? It's a big challenge to be representing his immensity, and we're just going to have you all help as much as possible. Probably get a little bit of Ravager here, because I think we were working our way towards some of these skill points in the blue, and looks like Defishy Tittlemuncha has leveled up once again. Give her Deadly Onslaught, because, I mean, anybody who's going to be doing that much bag battering definitely needs some Deadly Onslaught. Looks like a block army for Patchy to Salty Stabba. He is pretty much top level stabbing these days, which is good. All right, Crapius, despite a get, oh boy, he's got a fight coming up here. So we're gonna move up here with Crapius. Get ready to put down a big scrap with the humans, and that's gonna be just loads of fun. We've got some cash. We should probably use our cash to upgrade our empire here, our Wapire, if you will. Human pate. Did I mention I like this name? Because I do. I like that name a lot. Let's get a boss's tent here. I think that's gonna be important. As far as recruiting, I feel like we always need a good troll cave around. And I don't know how many boars we have available. We don't have any boars out in our armies yet, but we should probably make room for some boars in case we need some good pig cavalry throughout this campaign. Let's block this army here. We failed? What? Porco can't fail. Look at this. How could he possibly fail? Full level specialist, full level block army. Are you kidding? Failure doesn't even really seem possible at that point. Alright, Gaspacho the Stabby Salter is also here. And let's go do some scouting with him. Or wait a minute, did he have a mission that he was headed out towards? Razor Sack settlements belong to the house. No, not yet. Not yet. Let's go to Fort Saul. Have a looks around. It's because the chances are too low. Settlement doesn't have walls. It's a fort. I'm pretty sure it has walls. But whatever you say, whatever you say. Oh, look, Filedorf's looking ripe for the taking. The Golden Shower Shed. I mean, we have to build this up. The boss likes his showers, okay? We are going to spin. Oh, and the Crap Halls of Findal. Actually, these don't make a lot of sense to spend a ton of money on. I'm going to wait on these. Let's skip them. Apparently, Albrecht Hertwig is attacking Humi Pate because he wishes to become Humi Pate. It suddenly makes a lot of sense.
Grave news, my lord. Word is spreading across the land of a dark power rising in the northern wastes. The armies of chaos are on the move. They surely plan to invade the world of mortals once again. Prepare your defenses well, for the forces of chaos spare no one in their quest for bloodshed.
They should head down here. Grom's hungry, and these guys might have some new ingredients for the cauldron. Is chaos tasty? Is it like an explosion of chaotic flavors in your mouth? because Grom really wishes to embrace new flavors in life.
Smash it up!
So we'll rename Grunberg to Mork's Manor, as was suggested in a different comment. So here we go. Mork's Manor. Our Humy Pate took a bit of a beating, but we'll get it back up to snuff. We gotta make sure people have food. Definitely gotta have some food around this joint. All the time. Grom is always hungry. Always hungry.
What do you want?
I see some pathetic Humy agents up here. Maybe we should assassinate them.
Let's get stabby!
Oh, come on. It's just a Humy. Give him a good stabbing. Speaking of stabbing, are there any Humies to stab over here? No, but there's a Chaos agent to stab.
They won't feel a thing,
Excellent.
which is a pity.
Gazpacho is indeed a stabby salter, and we will reward him by making him more likely to succeed with all of his salty stabbing business.
Magic's ready.
Ooh, I like nasty magics. Alright, Crapius needs some skill points and an opportunity to prove himself against the Humies. They got a lot of stuff here. That's a lot of rocket launchers. But I just don't see Crapius being very particularly worried about this. And I think that it's highly overestimating the chances of these Humy dirtbags to actually win this. Franz nowhere to be found, and the Elector Count's screaming, "Do something, please. Save us from becoming fast food," for Grom. Gregor Klaus summoned together all the forces of the Empire he could find near Festerspike to attempt to stop Crapius from taking the settlement and crushing one of the Empire's outlying settlements. He was joined by a hunts marshal who thinks that they know how to hunt trolls, but we shall see whether that's the case. And the Empire brought as many guns and war wagons as they could, but just no match for a green-skinned Crumpen. At least that's what Appius thinks. Appius the Spider-Git may not have his own spider yet, but the Arachnarok Queen gladly follows him. She comes in, begins combat. The brave Black Orcs and Trolls also smashing into combat. The Empire infantry certainly overmatched. See the Rogue Idol here, along with Arded Face Basha, and the Spore Splodas in here destroying a bunch of infantry. Our Orc Big Boss, Black Orc Big Boss here is scared of nothing. Gonna be crumping to Humies. You can see the Humies war machine sitting here in the back, unchallenged, trying to fire into the fight and help support so that they don't get mulched into Burger too quickly. But take a look, Crapius is actually fighting right alongside his Black Orcs. He's no typical Gobbo. He may not have his spider mount yet. That doesn't mean he can't fight with the best of them. There's been a lot of magics that have helped. You can see over here the Doom and Darkness helping to rout Empire troops. They got attacked from behind by Spider Spawn and in front by basically everything else. You can see the Bride of the Gut over here, giving these Humies a good bag battering whenever the Fishy Tittlemuncha isn't here to do it. And in the meantime, the Spider Riders, the Broken Tusk Mob, and Durkit's Squighoppers and some Trolls have managed to pin down the cowardly Empire leaders and their guns. And at this point, the Empire tried bringing a gun to a club fight. These Trolls are clubbing, and they like it. No doubt, though, these Humies will be turned into fart, or food art, as we've renamed Grom's cooking. His cooking is quite delicious, by the way. You see Kevin here has already racked up about 100 kills, though Arded Face Basha is getting to bash plenty of faces. He is right in the middle of a greatsword unit. But, I mean, there's really no place he'd rather be if we're being honest with ourselves. Managed to get some wagons in here, and now the reinforcements are here. Crapius put up an absolutely spectacular fight, all by himself. And his boys is happy to be reinforced by the Wa. You can see the Humies here getting chased off. Over here, the Logi Bogies Spore Splodas is helping to explode these Reichsguard. We've got some more boys. We got archers here too. You see archers firing across the battlefield, let you kind of see what's going on. This was a pretty stiff pocket of resistance from the Humies over here, but the Crimson Killas is definitely tearing their way through it there with 158 kills. We'll drop down in here. We can see Gregor Klaus right now wishing to rethink his life, because life is not good for him. You see the river trolls have arrived and begun to vomit on their enemies. And Brida de Gut doesn't approve of this Empire captain over here attacking her archers, so he's also going to get the vomit. You can see that the Humies have been forced into retreat. The Queen and her minions. Well, I would say that Crapius is well on his way to earning the title Scrapius. Just got himself into a huge scrap right there and did a pretty fantastic job. All things said and done, left the Empire in a world of hurt. Need to replenish a little, then try and finish these goons, which shouldn't be too terrible. Actually, with the WA army, we could just let our WA army finish these guys.
This magic is real.
That's actually what we should do. We'll have to fight this one, and we'll let our WA army go finish these guys so that we don't take losses on Scrapius's army. Alright, that one wasn't much to watch. Just the WA army doing what it does best. There wasn't really even enough humans to make some pate. So, you know, I didn't want to waste too much of your precious time, you know. Know that you all like your time well spent. Let's look at Crapius to Spider get here. He's got to be all the way up till 16 to get his spider mount, which we definitely want. Definitely want. Curse of the Bad Moon would be fun, as would magical reserves probably first, and then we'll get these other spells. Should work. Let's see here. So Crapius has taken over Fester Spike. You all need to give it a proper name. We've now got the Stunty Jerky Ranch and Karak Crumped. So I would say that we're making some nice progress in making the Humie realms look a lot more presentable and have much more appropriate and nice-sounding names, we should say. Nice-sounding names. Some of this other stuff, they just can't seem to get it right. Let's build up Fester Spike so as to maximize its defenses. We'll do the same. Kind of maximize growth and replenishment here. Crapius is going to need a base of operations from which to WA the Empire. Since we have Altdorf captured, we really just have to make it through, what is it, 14 turns remaining, I guess, of the WA in order to take credit for it. I got Brida de Gut. Teach him right. No, let's get evasion so we can start opening up the other spells. She's got another one here. I think we're going to go with magical reserves again. We need as much magic reserve as we can in this army. An Ardhead Face Basha. Let's take a look at him right now. Oh, he can get a War Boar. That is pretty awesome. I think he needs a War Boar. Definitely needs a War Boar. He's got another skill point, huh? Perfect. He's got massive armor. Devastating Charge, Deadly Blade. Never hurts to be hard to hit here. The Southern Grey Mountains is completely under Grom's control. Let's make them grow faster and be more obedient to Grom the Great Paunch. I'm gonna wait on the cooking challenge because we've just cooked a nice dish here. The Misty Mountain Broth that Grom appreciates very much. Alright, the Paunch is hungry. There's plenty of Humies around to eat. We got some in Kemperbad, we got some in Nuln. Nice artillery school might be a nice addition. If only the Greenskins could take over the Humie stash of guns. Certainly wouldn't hear any complaints from me, especially with an all-gun campaign going on at the same time.
What you want?
I'm gonna go looking for Humies to mess with here. Prove him on specialist. Did our, wounded porco... Like that's even possible. Humie filth. Make me believe that. That's lies, folks. Don't believe it for a minute. It isn't possible to harm one of Grom's agents, as they are utterly invincible in every way. Kemperbad is actually... it's actually fortified here. And it looks like they've rushed in their troops to defend it. Let's see.
I will not obey.
That's a lot of rocket batteries. That is absurd. He's also got an Emperor's Wrath steam tank. Well, let's prepare a little ambush. See if he wants to come out and play. And if not, we'll go in and beat his face in too. That's totally possible. And something that Grom would actually pretty thoroughly enjoy. I'm gonna move a little closer to Humie territory here. Beating down Fort Saul and taking over business would be quite useful, as it would give us some protection from incoming armies from the north here. Seems like an appropriate place for DePonch to take over the management of. Oh man, Grom has so many skills. Let's go to Iron Hard. Casualty replenishment rate, 30% for Lords? Lords, so is it just him? I guess, I don't know. It's kind of weird the way they word that. Well, it appears the Humies didn't want to fight Grom, or actually they probably just didn't see him, which is pretty hard to believe that you can't see Grom DePonch. I mean, he is absolutely and utterly immense. I'm going to still keep him in an ambush stance here. I don't know how you really hide Grom, honestly. Can you all help explain that in the comments? Like, how does one hide Grom? It seems difficult at best. Difficult at best as far as a task goes. But yeah, let me know how that type of thing becomes possible.
You're the boss.
I can't believe I have agents that are failing. Maybe these agents need a reevaluation. Did the Stunties join the war against me? Or were we already at war with them?
I have no time for this.
Maybe we were already at war with them and I just hadn't noticed the,
Tribe's ready.
let's see.
You what?
Gilbert Iron Pick. That is your real name. That is your real name. So we're gaining quite a bit of scrap per turn here. Probably wouldn't hurt to scrap up some of the boys here. Scrap saddles, speed and armor, blinkers, a 20 charge bonus. You know, it never hurts to have some blinkers so they know which way you're going to turn here. What else we got? Oh, we got to have spider worship to open the scrap saddles, which gives the speed and armor. We can get a reload time reduction. Actually, probably more useful here. See how the Ragnarok Queen, extra melee defense, bonus versus large. I think she already has a pretty solid bonus versus large. Melee defense is not great for the spider though, so might do that. And let's see, what about our rogue idol? Holy crap, 25% weapon strength? He's already got massive weapon strength. Reinforced weapons it is. So we're going to start scrapping out Crapius's army. We got more folks who are going to need some scrap upgrades as well. And we won't forget them. We know what they need. Are we not working on any upgrades right now? It's not yelling at me? Reputation +5 per turn. Let's do that. I guess we weren't working on any technology. It must have just finished, maybe? Otherwise, it would have been warning me, right? Yeah, scrap compactor was the one that was just completed. Perfect. So we've worked long and hard to get scrap compactor, and it's now a thing. I think I'm gonna have to put Crapius down here in the way of these Dawi to make sure that they can't get to our rebuilt woods, if you will. It's a beautiful place, and I just can't allow anybody to go messing with it. We cleaned out all of those pointy-eared gits. Well, we didn't get an ambush, but the Humies were fool enough to come attack me, and I guess that Albrecht didn't learn his lesson the first time, and now he's brought his friends to be crumped as well, which was very thoughtful of him, because Grom is definitely in the mood for some crumping. Not having learned his lesson earlier, Albrecht Hurtward called in his friends to try and assist him. His friends quickly answered, but then found themselves facing Grom. Not knowing that they were going to be hit right away like this, it caught them completely off guard. Charged by the fishy Tittlemuncha and the massive gut himself, the Empire forces found themselves reeling, confused. Look at this. Knights. What is this? The Knights of the Everlasting... Everlasting Light. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're about to get their lights knocked out. Everlasting Light. Sure, whatever you want to call it. The Emperor's Wrath is here, which is kind of funny, because we haven't seen a single hide or hair of the Emperor. He's pretty much been in hiding while his empire gets absolutely wrecked. You can see these rocket troops and Hellblaster volley guns coming onto the battlefield, only to be near instantly met by trolls. Grom's Wa is on. The Emperor's Wrath is receiving Great Wrath. And you can see that there is no place in which the Humies aren't taking an absolute and severe beating at this point. They weren't able to join up with their fellow Humies, and they took a savage beating at the hands of Grom. An absolute savage beating. And speaking of savage beating, if Grom's army wasn't enough, his Wa knows no ends, folks. Look at the Great Wa coming in to fight for Grom to punch. A few filthy humans who I guess prefer not to become food for the Wa are attempting to come in and reinforce the army that was getting their heads cracked. Some wolf riders have come in order to keep them busy for a moment until they're ready to be the main course. Speaking of main course, Grom's here. Let's see how he deals with large piles of humans. Quite well. He's even got the wagons here. Kind of putting a nice mushroom dry rub onto the Humies before they hit the cauldron. You can see that the full force of the Wa is here now as well. And in the background, there was one brave Humie who thought he could stand against the garrison reinforcements that were also here. There's just no end to the amount of troops who will join a Wa in order to fight for Grom. You see these boys here is going to crack the skulls of the Hammer of Witches. They're about to get hammered. Just won't be by witches. See the mighty Reichsguard thinking that they can stop the Wa. They can certainly try, but it's highly unlikely they'll succeed, and they're being shot in the back by their own, so nice training there with the guns, Empire. See, the second wave of Humies was minced and diced very nicely, much like the first. Maybe they'll become an ingredient in the cooking challenge for the Hag. We've got the swamp things here. Oh man, sometimes I almost feel bad for these humans, but then again, not really. It's just hilarious. See some archers and some handguns fleeing for their lives. The Hammer of Witches got hammered. It's done. The only Humies that are left are coming in as reinforcements once again. They weren't able to join their comrades in a timely fashion and now face themselves horribly outnumbered and in for a massive crumpin'. We can see what happened to their comrades over here. It was not pretty. It was not pretty at all. Some of Grom's archers are now ready to put an end to these fleeing archers and handguns who think that they're actually going to have some part to play in this fight. The only thing they're going to be playing is dead, except it won't be playing, I guess. They'll just actually be dead. Here they go. And at this point, Grom is cresting the hill. Definitely wants a piece of these reinforcements. Humies are firing their rockets. It's of little concern. gonna take a lot more than rockets to stop this Wa. Not likely to be any good news for the Humies anytime soon, except for that the cost of Hume burgers is dropping drastically as supply is really starting to amass. And even though there's a great demand, again, the supply, folks, the supply. See Grom just almost cannot be stopped by blobs of infantry. He's gonna get in here and start chopping his way to glory. And his Wa has arrived as well. See the stone trolls and the boys. Well, Grom's Wa is truly unstoppable. It is immense as the boss himself. And folks, it looks like this is where we're going to pick up next time, the huge battle with the Dawi, which we actually may want to retreat from. We're a little bit overmatched here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have great faith in Crapius, but the dwarves are really bringing it hard and heavy with all these iron breakers. We're going to need some more armor-piercing capability, and we'll have to think through this one next time. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing off from Grom's Great Gut, and it is fantastic, folks. It's massive. I will see you next time.